from PRI, Public Radio International. Welcome to the Mountain Stage with your host, Larry Gross.
A Mountain Stage is a live music performance show, 2 hours long for radio, taped in front of a live audience in an auditorium, and it usually features 4 to 5 different acts on each show.
Look around your world, pretty baby, is it everything you hoped it to be? The wrong guy, the wrong situation.
There's no show like this at all because we, in public radio or in commercial radio, or in television for that matter, because of the breadth of the kind of talent that we will include on the show. And that, we think that's our greatest strength. Now, to conventional thinking, it's also a weakness because we don't have a niche that we follow every week and everybody's the same and you stay within this boundary. We believe in doing this. Just our philosophy.
So if you want to talk, then after guess who will be there?
The show began back in 1981 as an idea of Andy Ridenour and Francis Fisher, who worked for West Virginia Public Radio, and Andy is still the producer of the show, Francis is still the engineer.
I think the thing that we've witnessed over the years is how we've come together. I mean, this truly is a team.
Well, I was woken up at 4 a.m. by your screams and anguish cries. Your mother was...
The Mountain Stage is a very artist-driven show. I think the most artist-driven show on radio or television. And I say that having been on a lot of shows myself in the past when I was performing. And that's one of the purposes of our show. We focus on making the artist comfortable and giving the artist the best opportunity to look good.
Yes, you're taking it badly, I know, but you feel so alone.
At this point, we've done almost 400 shows, and we've had about 1,000 different artists to be on Mountain Stage. Of those, something like 150 of them are from other countries. So there's been many, many memorable moments. The first time Dr. John was on the show was a great moment because we always were great admirers. He's a musician's musician, and we were a great admirer of his. He came on by himself and played with our band. Obviously, an important, both artistically and publicity-wise for us, was when REM decided to do the show and called us up and wanted to come on and do their thing, and that was a wonderful time. It was a great show.
Right now we're recording it on DAT tape and analog as well. It's a live to 2-track kind of situation, and somehow you just rise to the occasion, and and everybody pretty much does it right the first time.
An ideal artist for Mountain Stage would be someone who defies categorization.
Show me where to draw the line. I'd lay down my sword if you would take it.
The show started in Charleston, West Virginia, because we all live here, and we all of the people who are involved in it have chosen to be in West Virginia. A few of us are natives, but most of us have chosen to come here. And I don't think that that's accidental in the personality of the show. Therefore, it gives us a certain freedom that we wouldn't have if we were in New York or in Los Angeles or Nashville or any music center or any big city. And so it gives us a freedom from the trappings of show business.
So you're in love with someone else, someone who burns within your soul, and it looks like I am the last to know.
We assume the listener knows something and has an aesthetic sense, and so we try to present artists that are very good of a lot of different styles and cultures, and therefore open the minds of the people who are listening. We don't usually cater to the listener who starts the sentence with "I only listen to." That's not our listener. Our listener is, I like a lot of kinds of things. I'm interested in finding out more. It's the same people that listen to the news because they want to know what's going on in the world.
Well, today, correspondent Mike Leonard, he's been spinning a dial on his radio, and you know what? He's found a program he thinks that more people should be listening to.
That's from the mountains of West Virginia to an Evanston, Illinois apartment to locations all over the country. A weekly invitation is sent out asking people to break from the grasp of the video age and to do something their grandparents liked to do. That is, sit at home and listen to a 2-hour radio program.
Live from the historic Capitol Plaza Music Hall in Charleston, West Virginia, welcome to another Mountain Stage.
A musical variety show on the air since 1984 and a triumph to the persistence of its producers, who were told time and again by industry experts that a show like this would never make it on the air.
Primarily because I think of location and the fact that we had no professional track record at that time. None of us had ever done a program like this before.
But
It's happening.
in West Virginia, of all places, where influential musicians like England's Robin Hitchcock find themselves free of the entanglements of a mainstream radio mentality that rarely gives such artists their day in the sun.
Yeah, that's good. I live in a coffin in Los Angeles, and I have been allowed out for the day before I am returned to my silent and airless tomb. Anything else you wish to know, you should ask before I evaporate.
Hosted and co-produced by singer-songwriter Larry Gross, Mountain Stage, in all its eclectic wonder, is formatted to sound as personal as a conversation between two music-loving friends.
I'm the kind of person I always like to take people to my house and pull out records they never heard and say, you're going to love this, listen to this one.
Hey, Jimmy, I got too much bass and too much piano, please.
After a morning of sound checks and rehearsals, the live Mountain Stage show is taped on a Sunday afternoon and then distributed for later playback to over 100 American public radio stations.
Did you ever hover in the distance? Did you ever swoop down from the sky?
Joining Robin Hitchcock on this edition, Billy Bragg, the duo of Gregson and Collister, and
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
in their only American concert appearance of the year, R.E.M., perhaps the world's hottest rock and roll band.
You know, they could go anywhere and make millions. You know, why'd they come here?
They came to deflect a bit of their spotlight onto a show known for spotlighting so many others who rarely get a chance to shine.
You know, we welcome any group or individual that fits our format, whether they are world famous or whether they're just known in their neighborhood.
I mean, they have something for everyone is what's good about it.
All that praise is greatly appreciated by the folks who put Mountain Stage together. The wonderful reviews, however, lead to an interesting question. If the show is that terrific, then why haven't I heard of it?
Public radio doesn't have the kind of money that buys that kind of publicity. And I think that part of our biggest challenge is getting people to understand that it's out there and finding ways to reach people.
Volume 1 of The Best of Mountain Stage, put out by Blue Plate Music, is one way of attracting attention. And another? Accepting the timely endorsement of a well-known fan.
That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion.
For today, Mike Leonard, NBC News, Charleston, West Virginia.